Hello, welcome back to my channel and to part 2 of my recent Egypt trip. Let's explore Egypt together. So after our 4-day stay in Luxor, my brother and I took a flight from Luxor to Cairo, and we had unexpectedly met with my cousin there who insisted on showing us around during our stay. Directly from the airport that night, we drove to a place called Al-Mugattam, which had a known Arabian-style outdoor cafe that sits at the peak of a mountain overlooking parts of the city in Cairo. It was a very serene and blissful night filled with laughter and pleasant tunes. And before any plans with my cousin, my brother and I had to see the pyramids first. Welcome to the pyramids of Giza. Here we're going to check out, and then we've got the Sphinx right over there. When and if you ever come to the pyramids here in Giza in Cairo, I highly recommend that you head over to the back behind the pyramids because you will get the most stunning panoramic view of the 6 most well-known pyramids here on this side. You can see here that there's these additional 2 behind the smallest pyramid that is hardly ever heard of, and they're quite collapsing here due to erosion. Yeah, and then we've got the 3 most largest ones, which is the ones that you would normally see like on a postcard and things of that nature. I'm currently standing in between the 2nd and the 3rd most largest pyramids out of a total of 9 pyramids, and the pharaohs were mummified, and there was also some of them that were buried within the chambers inside of these pyramids. The largest of the pyramids is about 480 feet high. The entire structure weighs about 6 million tons. There are many theories about who built the pyramids more than 4,500 years ago, but the most popular theory is that there were 20,000 skilled Egyptians who worked on it for over 20 years, and what amazes us, including researchers, is the precision of how it was built. The pyramids were built by raising blocks, whereas the Sphinx was carved out of a stone mountain. It's a lion's body and human's head, and the reason why the ones who built this chose it to be designed that way is because they believe that the lion is the strongest animal and human is the most intelligent, and together they created the ultimate protector. I am now going to dive into some personal depth. For those of you who don't already know this, horses are my #1 favorite animal, and there's one thing I disliked the most while I was in Egypt, and that is the way that these beautiful creatures are being whipped. I did see some people treat the animals well, but some were not, and I understand the tourism, business, money-making aspect of it to the ones who do live here, but it truly did affect me seeing and hearing the whips. This might sound like I'm exaggerating, but I'm being fully transparent with you. I felt like I was the one getting whipped each time I'd hear it. That's how much pain it would cause me psychologically, knowing that they were being forced to do something against their will. This was me right after letting it all out and receiving my brother's comfort and support. It's moments like this where I reflect on all the different examples of us hearing and seeing things that are completely heartbreaking but unfortunately can't immediately change the reality of things.
When I went on this camel ride, which was my first time ever, I asked the man for only 2 minutes and him being nowhere near me, just so I can quickly experience and reflect on the way nomads had traveled throughout the desert hundreds of years ago and used them for transportation. As we call camels in Arabic, Safinat al-Sahra, the desert's ship. Ultimately, what matters most to me is that they're being treated well. A nice tip for those who agree with my stance on this: just tell them that you already did the ride and the men will stop hassling you. Egypt is one of the largest Arab countries and most populous at a rate approximating 106 million people as of 2022. The climate is characterized as hot and undergoes a lot of drought. There is an Arabic expression which Egyptians and others around the world have used throughout history in reference to the country's achievements. It encompasses everything from the country's ancient civilization to a long list of Egyptian superlative achievements in religion, culture, science, and much more. With reference to religion, Egypt is mentioned on several occasions in the Holy Quran. While Cairo's 1,000-year-old Al-Azhar University is one of the most prestigious and oldest Islamic institutions of learning in the world. The expression is, Egypt is the mother of all countries, or the mother of the world, Masr ad-Dunya, and had begun around 500 years ago, when the current Arabic word for Egypt, Masr, was used to refer to what we now know as Cairo, the capital city. At that time, when people from other regions than Masr visited the capital, they became fascinated by how developed and rich the capital is. Hence their conclusion, Masr, the capital, is the mother of all regions, which to them was in comparison to their home cities and villages. We are now passing through the Gulf of Suez, heading from Cairo toward the Sinai Peninsula, where we were greeted and warmly welcomed by a group of friends from our local guide, Yasser.
Good morning. I have just woken up, just past Fajr prayer right now. It's about 6:10 in the morning. And we arrived at south of Sinai, and it's just such a precious place to wake up in the morning to like the sound of the birds and all different sorts of animals right in a farmland. It is just so peaceful. We are going to spend quite the adventurous day today, driving up all the way towards Dahab area. So I'm going to take you guys along the journey with me. عم ياسر، ايش هاي المنطقة اسمها؟
عين السخنة.
عين السخنة. وهاي المية طبيعية بتنزل؟
طبيعية.
سخنة كتير، شوف قديش البخار قديشه طالع.
تعالوا نروح للمكان بتاعها. دي فاتحة على الناحية الثانية كبيرة أكبر من اللي احنا فيها دلوقتي.
عن جد صافية، وتحت صار لونه هيك زي على أخضر.
دلوقتي سخنة موت. والجو هداك
زي كأنها عم تطبخ في التراب طبخ.
سبحان الله. دي بس من زمان.
تعرفي ممكن فيك تسلق بيضة منيح فيها.
هنا. أيوة فعلا حقيقي تسلق. ألو جيش منحهم. يعني دي ناس كتير بتيجي زي كده علاج إن هي بص. هني دلوقتي بقت تقلع وتحط البطانية. جوها عسل. والله.
غويطة. واو لحد هنا يعني مثل الهوت سبرينج. مسبح. وفي ناس كتير هون بيجوا هيك يعني بتشافوا بتعافوا طبيعي.
طبيعي.
سبحان الله عن جد.
أيوة سخنة موت.
So I have driven 3 hours on the road to get to this spot here called Nueve, and right here is the Aqaba. So I've been to this sea, but while I was in Jordan, so I was on the complete other side, but now I'm on the opposite side today, and it's just a completely different perspective. It's really beautiful.
This is a very unique place to be geographically, as this Gulf of Aqaba, originating from the Red Sea, shares 4 individual countries including Egypt, Palestine, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia.
We're just about to enjoy some dinner here, some fresh fish. خليها علي كمان.
ايوه خليها معك هلا حديتها معك. يا عم تقطيع هديه.
والله نايس، شكل مبدئي يعني.
لا ما عليك.
والله لبقيت لك يا كزن.
لا والله.
لازم تكون هيك.
لازم تكون محطوطة هنا.
تايت يعني مشدود. عشان ما يكون واحد عنده صداع.
ايوه ما تكون.
خف عنه.
شوف كيف صارت. اوه السلطانة سندس، السلطانة.
Considering I speak the same language fluently, although with a different dialect than the citizens here, I did not feel like a foreigner. Nevertheless, it was a whole unique vibe.
أنا ما حسيتش بأي شيء. الموقف اللي حصل معايا في المية وساحة الدروب مبسوط على قد ما تتخيل. أنا خلاص.
يعني كنت محطوط بموقف كتير صعب، يعني
صعب.
لو حدا تاني بيخاف وخلص.
بقول لك ده التاني ركب أول ما ركب أغمى عليه يعني. أنا سبحان الله لما تيجي الحاجة ما بخافش منيها خلاص.
ثقتك بالله وإيمانك فيه، يعني واثق إنه الله معاك.
خلاص.
إنه الله حاميك كمان.
حقيقي. فلما طلعت برا تمام حسيت نفسي في الأمان وفي الهوك. قعدت 3 شهور وأنا ما بدريش بالدنيا رايحة فين وجاية. والله العظيم يعني هو شوف صاحبي ده بس أنا شلت جوا يعني الخريعة ما طلعتش علي والخدة ما طلعتش غير لما روحت البيت حسيت بالأمان وجسمي ارتاح.
بالضبط يعني.
استغربت الموقف يعني زي الموقف حصل في نص البحر
خبرة هيك كنت بين الحياة والموت يعني، وكان بس الله اللي حاميك. بس
أطلع
ياسر، ايش بدنا نعمل اليوم؟ ايش اسمه كان؟
هي السلفانة.
سلفانة. وايش هو السلفانة بالضبط؟
Sudufana basically means cooking underground. It's a Bedouin's oven. A hole is dug into the sandy ground big enough to contain hot coals and the meat and vegetables to be roasted.
يا عجبة خلاص محل على كيفي.
الطرابين؟ صدر.
Now we're stirring all of these spices up together.
It's slowly cooked while covered in aluminum foil. A separate fire is made to heat the coals. The hole is sealed, leaving the hot coals to radiate heat and roast the meal. And this is the final product here. When it comes to food in Egypt, choose wisely and make sure you know where the source is coming from.
Go! وإيش كمان؟
Once we've arrived back in Cairo, we had a nice filling meal at the Cairo Mall before our flight back home to Jordan. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to stay tuned for more. Let's keep exploring.